Here we go again, YouTube. This is part four. I'm just re-recording it. This is part four of the latest Bumble Jeep update. It's been a couple of days since I posted the other three videos, and I apologize. When I recorded part four, I was sitting outside the shop. It was just getting dark, and it wasn't worth posting that video. It was so dark you couldn't see anything. Of course, the only thing you would have saw was me, so no great loss there. But anyhow, here we are. So it is about 3 days, 2-3 days after that post. I've swapped out the throttle position sensor, the idle air control valve, and the O2 sensor. I did get the O2 sensor to go in. I cleaned up the threads with a file, and the tap that I bought was incorrect. It was a 14 by 125, 1.25, which is a metric tap. It was too small. So I nursed that O2 sensor in there, got it in, got it hooked up. It cleared whatever codes. And so anyhow, I'm going to install the fuel pressure regulator now. And then I'm going to go ahead and order the map sensor, which I didn't even know this had, but apparently it does. And I'm going to order that from Rock Auto. I talked to the manager at my local Advance, and God bless him, he said he could price match for me, but he wasn't available today when I went in. And the other guy who tried to price match for me from Rock wasn't able to do it. So there you go. It's not a big deal. This is a project. I drive it a couple of times a week at most. So it's not a big deal that I have to wait a day or two for the map sensor to come in from Rock. I don't get, how can they do why is there such a big gap? And to illustrate, the map sensor from Rock is going to cost me with shipping a little over $18, $18 and change. The best price that Advance could give it to me for was mid-30s. So, almost double the price. Just about double the price. So, to my way of thinking, I'm willing to wait 2-3 days to get the one from Rock in order to save, $15, $18, whatever. So there you are with that. I think there's only one more sensor, and I don't even know what it is, but it plugs into the top of the intake manifold. I'll show you when we get out under the hood in a few minutes here. So I still have that intermittent rich condition where it's bucking and jumping and missing and just basically acting up. It's getting better, but it's not where I want it to be. I want it to be like it was. It was smooth. I mean, if I wanted to stick my foot in it and go, it would go. I don't do that very often with this. It's just, this one is, I like driving sports cars, don't get me wrong. When I had my Neon Highline Racing Edition, and that thing, I beat the living snot out of that poor thing, and surprised a lot of cars wannabes from red lights when I pull out with that, because for whatever reason the Highline has a gearbox with lower gear ratios. So even though you only have a 2-liter engine in there, and I think the 2-liter on those, that was a 95. The 2-liter on those was, I think, 137 horsepower. Not a lot. You could pump those 2 liters up to over 350, 400 horsepower, although I don't know why you would want to. That's just insane. But that thing took off like a rocket, and I could speed shift that. Like, my shift times were so fast, it's ridiculous. I wish I could show you. Can't do that in this Jeep. It's just not the right transmission to speed shift. But anyhow, I don't really drive this Jeep like I did the Neon. So there you are. And I miss the Neon. And it's only dead because due to my own fault. I ran it out of oil. I knew it had an oil leak, and I just kept, because it used to show a check engine light or an oil light would come on. Driving down the road one day doing 75 miles an hour and lost all power. I was only like 2 miles out from, or a mile out from Wawa. Went in and they only had a couple of quarts of oil in there, so I bought those, put it in, and it settled down a little bit. But at the end of the day, I spun 2 bearings. So they were easy enough change. The problem was there was so much debris in the engine that it was wreaking havoc with the crank position sensor and the cam sensor. And you could replace those, but short of tearing that motor down and completely flushing it, you weren't going to. And the thing I didn't know at the time, or I would have done that, it was just a matter of my time and labor. It wasn't a huge cost. That was an ACR Neon. Not a lot of those made. They're highly sought after. They bring the best price when you find them, and if the person that's selling it knows what they have. So anyhow, there you are. I had a guy offer to buy it about a week after I sent it off to the scrapyard. So rest in peace. Anyhow, back to the Jeep. Let's get the hood up on this and get started, and I'll show you that other sensor. I'm not going to record. I can't work with one hand and film with the other. I don't have a tripod over here, and I don't have a tripod mount for my phone. And I bought a camera. I bought the remote mic. Bought the dead cat mic for the camera. I just don't want to edit. This is all raw, one take, unscripted. So anyhow, I'm going to pause this, get the hood open, show you that last sensor. If somebody could tell me what it is, that'd be awesome. So anyhow, be back in a flash. Oh crap, it's not going to let me do it. Let's try this. Alright, so there's the fuel pressure regulator. I don't know if I'm going to even be able to get this in frame or not. We'll see when I watch the video. And then the other sensor is this one right here. And I have no idea what it is. I think it's like, I don't even know. Not even going to guess. And then there is my map sensor. This is the one I got to order, and I got to, oh. Did you see what just happened there? Yep, it's the round pins. So I just broke the latch on that. No, I'm not ordering a pigtail. Anyhow, there you are. I'm going to take a few minutes, get the fuel pressure sensor changed, and get back to you. And pause. Okie dokie, so I'm in shadow again. No, let's undock. Go out where it's a little lighter. So anyhow, that's all done. I also got a new fitting. Not a fitting. Replaced this piece. You can see it's all cracked. This is what was on the pressure thing. One little word of advice when you're doing a fuel pressure regulator, and this fuel rail, I'm going to turn around again because I can't rotate the camera while this is recording. Dumb, but okay. So, one word of advice. When you're replacing this, pull this little cap off here and bleed the pressure off. Get a rag or something. I keep a rag for checking my oil, like right there. So, and I completely forgot. So when I undid this little bolt here, and this thing came loose, I got sprayed. Just thank God I had my glasses on, because it was all up in my face. So this is all done. let's step inside, fire it up, and see what happens. There we go. See, I could do this for a living. Well, maybe I could. But... Alright, I'm going to put you back in my camera holder here. Alright. Let's fire this puppy up. Still has that little, not so much, little bump on the low end. So don't know that this has solved the problem. Like I said, we're going to go with the map sensor, and if any of you guys have any idea what that other sensor was, I sure would appreciate a heads up. Give me, comment if you know what it is. I could probably ask them over at the parts store. That reminds me, I got to take that thread tool back, because I got the one that the package was stapled shut, so I can actually put that back together, put it back in the original package, and I should have a receipt here for it someplace. Nope, that was for the elbow. So anyhow, I'm going to end it here. Sorry. I'm going to end it here and get this one uploaded probably later this afternoon. It's Friday the 20th of December. So if you found it at all entertaining or informational, give me a thumbs up. Like, subscribe, share, and you'll see me in the next one. Later, YouTube.